Growing up in the Philippines, I would help my mom cook Filipino food. Years later, when I became vegan, I learned that Filipino food can also be vegan without losing its soul. I wanted to share this discovery with family, friends, and with you.
Kain na! Let's eat! Nilaga is a Filipino soup made with beef and vegetables in nourishing broth. Growing up, my mom would always make this soup for the entire family. Now that I'm vegan and now that my parents are watching their health, I've come up with a healthy and vegan version that both my parents and I can enjoy. Here's what we'll need. Half of a small kabocha squash, peeled, seeded, and chopped. 1 medium yellow onion, peeled and chopped. 2 quarts of vegetable broth. Few pinches of salt. 2 red potatoes, peeled and chopped. 1 carrot, peeled and cut into big chunks. 1 piece of snow fungus or tremel, reconstituted in water, base removed and cut into chunks. 1 bunch of green beans, ends trimmed and cut into about 2-inch length. Half of a NAPA cabbage, base removed and cut into chunks. 1/4 of a small cabbage, cut into chunks. 4 to 5 pieces of mini corn on the cob. 1 bunch of green bok choy, base removed and thoroughly washed. 2 pieces of ripe saba bananas, peeled and cut into chunks. Let's get started. Place the onions and half of the kabocha squash in a pot. We'll pour the vegetable broth and add a few pinches of salt. Turn on the heat, cover, and simmer for about 10 minutes or until the squash becomes mushy. Let's check on the nilaga. Now that the squash is soft and a little bit mushy, we can go ahead and mash using either back of a ladle or back of a large fork. You can also use a potato masher. We want the first half of the squash mashed into the broth to taste the flavors of the squash. Then later, we still want to enjoy the firm texture of the squash, so we're adding that next. Potatoes, carrots, and celery. Mix, and you want to cover and simmer until the potatoes and squash have softened. Nilaga technically refers to a method of cooking. In Tagalog, it means to boil or boiled in. So technically, our version is nilagang gulay or vegetable nilaga. Now that the potatoes and squash are nice and soft, let's add the rest of the ingredients. Corn on the cob, the tremel, that will add a nice meaty texture, and the leafy vegetables. Saba bananas and green beans. Mix it around. Cover and simmer for just another 5 minutes. If you're not going to eat all of the leafy vegetables right away, then you can just use the right amount for that time And then maybe the next day you're going to eat nilaga again, you can add the rest of the leafy vegetables then. This way, you're not going to overflow your pot and you're not going to have mushy leafy vegetables when you're reheating your soup. Time to taste if it needs adjusting. Yum. I love the flavors of the kabocha squash in there, and I can taste the sweetness of the hearty vegetables from not just the kabocha squash, but even from the carrots, corn, potatoes, even the saba bananas. And as you notice, this is a no oil recipe. I didn't add any oil in this pot. So this is perfect for those who are watching their health, or for those people who have been asking me for a no oil recipe. This one is for you. And if you have other requests, feel free to send them my way. And there you have it, vegan nilaga that is just as nourishing and hearty as its meat version. This recipe has been my parents' go-to every time they're craving for something healthy and Filipino. For the full recipe and other vegan Filipino recipes, just go on astigvegan.com. I'm also on social media and I'd love to hear from you. Just use the hashtag astigvegan so I can see your creations. Thank you so much for watching. My name is RG at Astig Vegan, letting you know that Filipino food can be vegan, healthy, and delicious without losing its soul. Kain na! Let's eat!
If them